What's going on, party people? My name is Solomon. I am an artist, and thus I go by Solomon the Artiste. I've been thinking a lot about life, and I don't know. I'll be like most of my videos. I don't know exactly where this is going, but I know what I want to speak about this time. It's weird, you know. I am at a point in my life where I'm beginning to, I've accepted, I've thought about this for quite some time, and I remember, I'm sorry about all that noise, I'm sitting on a, what do you call these again, ottoman, and yeah, so I remember having a conversation with my good friend, I was trying to decide if I can say this person's name or not, but you know what, I try my best to keep my channel specifically about me. That's why I'm so vague when talking about family situations, anything involving other people than myself. I try to be vague because I don't want to invade anyone's, you know, privacy or whatever, even though you most likely don't know who I'm speaking of. Still, you know, this person or that family member probably doesn't want any information about them on the internet without their knowledge, you know. But yeah, either way. So I've been thinking about what it means to be an artist looking for love, you know. I feel like when you date, you should date honestly. You know, like me personally, I'll be real, I'm very much so a hopeless romantic. You know, I think I'd be a phenomenal dad. I'd be an amazing husband. My wife would feel like queen of the world. And I think anyone who knows me would attest to that. I love love. The issue for me is that I'm also very much in love with art. And I don't know that I can properly or fairly put art as a secondary thing to anything other than Christ in my life. You know, Christ is first. And I have no shame in shouting that to the world. I am a Christian. I love God. I'm far from perfect. I die daily and wake up with the chance to be better than yesterday every day by the grace of God, and I'm thankful for that. But with that in mind, you know, art comes right after that. I don't know where I'd be without art, without music, without acting. You know, I'd probably be so deep in depression that I don't know, even though I don't think that I'd have the guts to try drugs or anything like that, maybe I might have gotten lost in drug. You know, most artists are so free-spirited and experimental that they do try recreational drugs and such. It wasn't really my thing, and I think it's largely because, for one thing, I was a punk too much, because the opportunity presented itself, but it just wasn't for me. But also, I didn't want to mess up my gift. I know that this is from God. I've never been trained, but I've been hired to perform at some large events. I've been hired to be a part of many musical theaters productions in leading roles. You know, I've been hired to sing backup for magnificent people, you know, and I've never been formally trained. So I know that this is from him. And so I never wanted to tarnish that. And So with that in mind, I know that I'll never give up on art. I know what the world views as successful, and that is largely financial. I'm not rich, I'm not wealthy by any means, but I've done many of the things that I've set out to do. I've actually traveled to perform. I've actually gone on tours. You know, I've been invited to perform at different events that I never would have thought I would have been invited to. You know, I've been invited to perform at fashion shows, you know? And while things may not necessarily be as grand as I would like them to be or as I wish them to be, they still happened. And I still get them done, you know? And the reason that this comes up is because I remember some time ago, this is where I was going earlier, I had this conversation when I was part of a musical theater production, a regional theater production, and me and a friend who was also on the show, we were talking about me and my life and some parts of my life that I really have to work on. And I was saying, you know, I feel like if you're going to date, me personally, I believe in dating towards the finish line. If I'm gonna date you, I'm gonna get to know you. I wanna get to know you. I wanna grow with you, hopefully, if we vibe and connect. I want to become boyfriend and girlfriend. I want to become fiancés. I want to be married, and I want to build that life with a home and kids and everything else. But I am very much so indebted to art. I can't see my life without art. And so I used to say in my 20s that I want to get myself to a certain degree of success in art before I build a family or build a relationship with, you know, whoever the woman is out there for me. But now, at 33 is not necessarily old, but it ain't necessarily young, that young. It's not 20s anymore, you know? And so I remember I said to my friend back then, I think I might have been 26 at the time, you know, maybe it's possible that maybe I won't get married. Maybe I won't have a relationship. Maybe I am meant to just be a loner, you know, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily everyone is meant to be married, even if they are romantic, you know. And that brings me back to something that Jill Marie Jones said in her Charlemagne video interview, the Girlfriend's interview with Charlemagne. Someone had said to her, you're a certain age and you've had this relationship and that relationship and this relationship again, and none of them ended in marriage. So your relationships failed, basically, the person was trying to say. And Jill said, well, that's what it looks like to you, but to me, I see them as a success. They lasted for a period of time, and I don't necessarily want to be married, you know? Not to say that's the case for me, that I don't want to be married, but I can't also say that I necessarily want to be married, you know, because that might entail something that I don't want. You know, I don't want to ever stop creating art. I feel like I don't know what success will necessarily be for me. I feel successful right now in the fact that I make money doing what I love. It's not big money yet by any means, but I make enough to take care of the things I need to take care of for me. And that's where this comes in. You know, if I am in a relationship, I feel like I don't have much of anything to offer because I can't necessarily take a woman out to some fancy restaurant right now. You know, I remember dating one girl and she told me, oh, I'm content with just walking through the park and getting a coffee and holding hands. You know, that's romantic and this and that. And it made me feel relieved because I thought like, oh, okay, maybe not all women want, you know, that financial thing. But then when it came down to it, it wasn't what she wanted. You know, she wanted the jewelry, she wanted, you know, the money, she wanted this and that and that and this or whatever, and it really hurt my feelings, you know. But then, and this is a whole other video to go on, the second girl I met who had that same mentality, she meant it. But, well, I shouldn't say but, because I don't mean but the difference is that, yeah, but the difference is that she was a white girl. She was Italian, and she meant it. Whereas the other girl was this beautiful black woman, and she said what she said and did what she did. And I'm not gonna put her business out there, but she did play me out hardcore. But the reason that I was trying to decide whether or not I want to do this video, because I want this channel to be based on, I say it all the time, I want this channel to be based on truth. I'm only willing to expose myself to a certain extent because it's my channel, but you know, I want to keep some things to myself for sure, you know. The purpose of this channel is to show the things that I see and hear and learn as an artist. You know, this, what I'm talking about on video, is something that you will definitely likely see in a song, you know. I did a Zoom meeting with a church group that I'm a part of, and the leader of the church group hit me up and let me know that someone in the Zoom meeting saw me and that she thought that I was handsome and really wanted to talk to me and, you know, see if we could vibe. And I'm gonna be real, I never responded to that inquiry, because first of all, I didn't see this person. A lot of the people on that Zoom call opted to not use their camera, so I don't know who this woman was or what she looked like. Not to make myself sound vain, but we are human beings, we are visual people. I want to see who I'm talking to or who's talking to me. But additionally, I just got out of debt, and I've just focused my mind wholeheartedly on art. Like, I feel comfortable now to really, I thought I was giving my full self before, but I realize now I never was, because I never had the financial comfort to do it, to give myself wholeheartedly to art, and now I can. And now my situation has changed up where I have the space to do the things I need to do. You know, things are slowly coming together for me to really devote myself and my time and my energy and my passion to art. And with that, again, I don't feel like I have anything to offer a relationship. I know that it's not all financial, but the fact is, unless the woman that I'm gonna talk to is also an artist who understands what it means to constantly be creative, constantly go on auditions, constantly, for the most part, having a certain small amount of money to your name, I don't think that I can satisfy said woman, you know? And the fact is, I don't see myself as having a time frame. I feel like if I haven't made it, whatever that really means, by the time I'm 80, I'm not giving up. I love to act. There's always gonna be a part for some old person. No matter what age you are, there is a part out there that needs to be filled by someone who looks like you, sounds like you, what have you, you know? Music, you know, I can't force people to buy my music. I can't force people to stream my music, but I can make the music regardless. You know, the world is set up where I don't need to be in some big studio anymore. You know, I can create, as I have been, in the privacy of my own home. I can build my own home studio and keep doing that and self-promote and put it out there, and people will find me as they have, you know? And to be real, I'm tired of working for other people. I want my own business, and I have ideas, you know? And considering the fact that I am so indebted to art and looking to start my own LLCs and still trying to ensure that my independent label that I've built with my two brothers is us staying afloat as best as we can, you know, I don't feel like I have the time to dedicate to a woman in the manner that I should, to a relationship, you know? And so that brings me to the point where I've been thinking to myself, maybe I'm not meant to have a relationship. Maybe I'm not meant to be married. Maybe this nurturing father energy that I have is literally meant specifically for my nieces and nephews. You know, maybe they are the ones that I am supposed to spoil, you know, with all this love that I do have to give. And even though there's a part of me as I'm saying this that feels somewhat emotional, you know, saying that out loud, you know, the fact is that I gotta be real with myself and accept that that could very well be real, and I am okay with that. You know, I would rather, I don't know, that doesn't necessarily, so basically what I'm saying is that, you know, I am well prepared emotionally for the idea of being alone for the rest of my life, you know? I am happy when I'm singing, when I'm creating music. I am content when I am acting. I get, you know, when I pray, and sometimes I slip. There are some days I forget to pray. There are some days where I sin and I feel too embarrassed to pray. I'm keeping it real, you know, but still, God is still the constant in my life. I can always have him to come back to listen to speak to pray to praise and worship, you know? And I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this because I know I can't be the only one who thinks about this, especially as an artist, you know? There's this idea of artists being super romantic, but it's in the vein of being a painter, you know, the struggling artist. He paints his days away, but he is a loving romantic. He will knock you off your feet and give you the most passionate night ever or whatever. I can do that, and I've done that. But I don't want to live my life doing that. I would like a loving, long-term, real relationship. It's like I'm weird. I'm in this weird place where it's like I'm not giving up my art. I'm not gonna ever stop being creative. And I think it would be unfair for me to go into a relationship and bring a kid into the world knowing that this is where I am right now. Absolutely, it might be different if I was able to pull a J. Cole, you know, where he is a multimillionaire now and is essentially independent and does everything on his own terms, but has his wife and his kid at home and lives a certain lifestyle that is not necessarily grand from what I understand, but is comfortable because he has enough money to do so and still has found a way to stay grounded, you know? I would love to do that if I can find the way to do that. But right now I'm not in that place. My the group leader of my I keep calling it a church group. It's really what's the word that I'm looking for right now? Such a nonprofit. Our nonprofit business. I had the conversation with her too. I told her, you know, I don't really feel like I have anything to offer right now, especially in my pursuits of art. She said, yeah, but you should. But that's the point of a relationship, growing together, understanding each other, you know, yada yada yada. She's saying that I should still be trying to meet someone and build a relationship and, you know, and whatever. But I just feel like that's just energy that I can't give right now. It'd be different if it's not even about the money, but the fact that when I'm in New York, I stay with my family. I'm simply just not, it's the way my mind works. I can't see fit to spend money paying rent to someone in New York when I've got a whole home in Georgia, you know? And if I was gonna pay rent, I'd rather just rent out, you know, my parents' basement or something and have that as my own, you know, space and, you know, boom. You know, I feel like that makes more sense, you know? So either that or live in Georgia. And that's the other thing. I know I'm gonna be between New York, Georgia, and LA constantly because of singing and because of acting. And, you know, that's not fair to a woman unless she's also an actor who's bouncing around as well and understands the concept. I'm not saying that I am closing myself off to love by any means, but I ain't looking. You know, I'm just here being an artist. Does that make sense? I remember when I told this to my friend, she cried. She felt that I was too much of a good guy and too loving of a guy to set myself up like this. But it is what it is, though. You know, what more can I do? What more can I say? You know, it's where my mind is too. And then there's just the way my life is set up right now. Like, I'm just too entrapped in my family. There's a lot happening in the family, and I'm just sort of the go-to. Like, everything that needs to be fixed is through me, basically. I have to do everything. I just don't have the time to connect with a woman the way that I would like to or need to if I'm growing to know her as a person and potential wife, you know? Yeah, and then I'll often look at this world and think, do I want to bring a kid into this world as hard as it seems to be right now? And then I also think that about the fact that I want to travel. I got plans. I want to go play. I want to like spend months at a time abroad, you know? I want to do these things, and you can't do certain things when you're tied down, especially if you have a kid, you know? And I look at some family, some of my cousins who aren't even married, but they have kids, you know, and it's like they got to make sure that they're, you know, I don't think any of them pay child support, but it's like they basically live married, but they're not necessarily married. But either way, the point is, it's like their financials are tied down. It's never me first. And I think that's another thing. I'm a bit selfish currently because it's like, excuse me, it's Christ, it's art. And after that, it's gotta be me, you know? That's where I'm at. Which is really funny for me to say, because at the same time, I tend to be too selfless. But I think because of the fact that I'm not in a relationship, it's easy for me to put myself at that place. And I'm not even third, come to think of it. You know, it's my family. And I'm not even sure that art comes before my family, because if it did, I'd have a lot more YouTube videos done. I'd have a lot more I'd have music videos done, if anything. You know, I dedicate my money to myself as opposed to, you know, taking care of the many financial burdens that have come to due to my family situation, immediate family situation currently, you know. But yeah. In any case, I'm gonna end this video here. Please say something in the comment section. I want to know if anyone else thinks about these things, you know, especially if you're an artist. You know, do you think about what's coming in the future? You know, are you an artist who's already married and have kids? You know, are you in my age group? Did you get married early as an artist? Like, I would love to know what other artists out there have to say in respect to this video, assuming anyone's watched it or is watching it, you know. And if you know anyone that might have a fresh perspective, please share this with them. But yeah, still I'm in a place now where I've pretty much decided that I am content in just living my life alone and just creating music, creating art, acting, and just being the best human being I can be in this world until the Lord calls me home. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. How do you go from that to it still ending on a happy note? It's not a sad video, it's really not. It's just a real, I'm being a realist right now. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed. Peace.